the theories behind the development of the integrated model of personality. Social cognitive personality theory. Cognitive psychologists attempt to explain human behavior by understanding the mental learning processes. They focus on the importance of socialization and the effect of thought processes to create one's unique patterning of behavior. They assume that human beings are rational beings capable of making sensible choices that benefit them. Cognitive psychologists view behavior as a function of cognition, learning, and experiences in the environment. They assert that people organize their values, expectations, and goals to guide and direct their behavior. This set of personal standards is unique in each person and grows out of one's life experiences. Social cognitive psychologists attempt to explain the complexities by careful observation of the human behaviors with the environment and their relations. They posit that each of the mechanisms, for example, self-regulatory, goals mechanisms, self-reflective capabilities, possesses a spectrum of possible inputs. Albert Bandura Social cognitive theory. Bandura, a follower of behaviorism, attempts to integrate the behavioral and cognitive perspectives to explain personality. He found the stimulus-response theory that pleasure begets pleasure and pain begets pain too simplistic and can be mooted. He creates a gap between stimulus and response. The gap is to allow the intellect to predict the motives of the stimulus to generate alternatives and anticipate the outcomes of each alternative before choosing the response that makes the most sense in a situation. Bandura introduces the concept of reciprocal determinism. It posits that the environment causes behavior. Behavior can also cause the environment. Bandura perceives individual functioning as a continuous interaction among behavioral, cognitive and environmental factors. The three fundamental principles of the social cognitive approach are: personality is a complex system, reciprocal interactionism, personality variables. Mischel. Mischel introduces the person-situational theory. The person-situation debate refers to the controversy concerning whether the person or the situation is more influential in determining a person's behavior. Mischel argued that these individual differences would not be expressed in consistent cross-situational behavior, but instead, he suggested that consistency would be found in distinctive but stable patterns of if-then situation behavior relations that form contextualized, psychologically meaningful. Mischel if-then behavioral signatures have allowed a new way to conceptualize and assess both the stability and variability of behavior that is produced by the underlying personality system. He has helped us to understand the complex human beings. Julian Rotter. Julian Rotter defines personality as a function of the individual experiences and the environment. The environment provides the stimuli, both painful and pleasurable. The individual response to the stimuli leads to either reinforcer positive outcome or punishment negative outcome. The whole process becomes an experience. The individual learns from experiences. One learns that both pleasurable and painful experiences can lead to positive and negative outcomes. Julian B. Rotter introduced the concept of locus of control. People with a strong internal locus of control believe that the responsibility for whether or not they get reinforced ultimately lies with themselves. Internalizers believe that success or failure is due to their own efforts. They are masters of their own destiny. On the contrary, externalizer believes that their reinforcements are controlled by luck, chance, or powerful others. They are the victims of fate. Rotter provides an agent for personality change. Change the mindset of a person or change the environment the person is responding to, and the behavior will change. Rotter categorizes his theory into four main components. Behavior potential. Behavior potential is the likelihood of engaging in a particular behavior in a specific situation. In any given situation, there are multiple behaviors one can engage in. For each possible behavior, there is a behavior potential. The individual will exhibit whichever behavior has the highest potential. Expectancy is the subjective probability that a given behavior will lead to a particular outcome or reinforcer. Having high or strong expectancies means the individual is confident the behavior will result in the outcome. Having low expectancies means the individual believes it is unlikely that his or her behavior will result in reinforcement. Reinforcement value. Reinforcement value refers to the desirability of these outcomes. Things we want to happen, that we are attracted to, have a high reinforcement value. Things we don't want to happen, that we wish to avoid, have a low reinforcement value. Psychological situation. Rotter believes that different people interpret the same situation differently. Again, it is people's subjective interpretation of the environment, rather than an objective array of stimuli, that is meaningful to them and that determines how they behave. Contributions of social cognitive theories. The cognitive theorists study thought processes, such as memory, attention and perception, and the effect on our behavior. The cognitive approach discovers cognitive therapies such as rational emotive therapy. This therapy has been successful in changing irrational thoughts into rational thoughts. Probably the most significant contribution of social cognitive theory is its applied value. It enables us to understand complex behavior. Limitation of social cognitive theories. The cognitive approach is reductionist. It reduces human behavior down to individual processes such as memory and attention. This is a weakness because the human is a product of all the processes working together and not just individual parts. The cognitive approach is too mechanical. It compares the human to computers in that they have similar processes. This is a weakness as humans are more complex than computers. For example, emotions can affect a human's output. It does not include the study of evolutionary and genetic aspects of the human personality as they play an important part in our behavior. It is unable to explain and classify the typology of personality disorders. Conclusion. In view of its limitations, there is a need to incorporate the social cognitive theories with the other schools of personality theories to have a more accurate prediction of human differences.